The third lesson I learned from my Dada is the importance of travel. He loved traveling. His life was full of rich experiences, plenty of adventures, and wonderful people that he met along the way, who he learned from constantly. And I remember this beautiful trip we did all over Europe when I was just 8 years old. And he would stop and talk to me at every single place we went to. And he would say, "Is this a place that you would come back to later in your life? What did you like about this place? Do you like the language? Do you like the food? Do you like the people?" This is quite an education for an 8-year-old. In my mind, I just noticed that everything just expanded. It exploded. And all about how he treated people along the way, how he tried to understand them, understand their habits, their behaviors, and how to be polite in a different country. In those days, we did not have Google to figure out everything about what the temperature is going to be. So he did a lot of research, right? And we'd get all these travel guides before we traveled, and he would have this extensive itinerary planned out. Yet, what he would do is, this is what we intend to do, but the gaps is what we will actually end up doing. And everything about it was such a joy. Travel to him really meant education. It meant experience. It meant knowing people on a very emotional level. That bug definitely caught me. I enjoy traveling tremendously, and every new place that I go to, I always would remember him from here on now. This past year with COVID has been a very interesting one. I don't like to use the word challenging. And I remember how optimistic he was about every aspect of travel. Sometimes we'd get into situations that we had not planned for, and he would teach us how to get out of them. Whenever I travel, I always remember how much he told me, "You are traveling because you are having a vacation out of your own mind." And that makes a lot of sense, because usually when we travel, we do so because we need to be away from our rigmarole, from our own schedule. But we also travel in order to get a new perspective on the issues that are affecting us in our everyday life. And when you have lots of time to think, you always would come up with better solutions. Travel to me is magical, just like it was to my Dada. It is all about immersing into the culture, the splendor of it all, how they lived, the civilization, every aspect of food and flavor and curiosity. To me, travel is just not, something that happens twice or thrice a year. It's about the everyday. Even if you take 3 trips, in a year, are those the trips that you're always going to remember for it to help and participate years later in your everyday? He always told us, learn something about the culture that is new to you, which you can practice every single day. He always believed in experience instead of materialistic objects. So you could buy a fancy clothes or dress, shoes, everything, but that has a certain expiry, but your memories don't. And that is one of the most joyful things that he taught us about travel. The other thing that he mentioned about travel is that it expands the way that you deal with everything in your life. It expands your sensitivities, your belief systems, your love. It also allows you to be extremely passionate about everything that you set your mind to do. To all of you who love to wanderlust and travel the globe over and over again, here's to you and us. In the memory of my Dada, I will continue to travel all over the world for as long as I can. And in those memories that I create, he will live on.